So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy Ellen. I'm back. Fresh off a good meal I just chefed up in the kitchen, man. Listen. But this 17-year-old quote-unquote mystery escaped from Alcatraz, and it says did facial recognition just solve the 17-year-old mystery? Now, mind you, this dude's been escaped for 17 years. 17 years. Like, you probably didn't even, you could have caught them because they probably done got comfortable. They've eluded you for 17 years. They got comfortable. That's probably why you caught them. Ain't no facial recognition. It probably assisted, but they was comfortable by now. They probably don't even mind getting caught at this point. How old are they? You know what I mean? Like, I really want to hear what they have to say in this video, how they break it down and give us all the science of how facial recognition and technology found these guys. When in all actuality, these guys probably didn't care. They may be old. How old is this case? I think I heard of it before. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. But either way, it's still something to be said to escape from the legendary Alcatraz. You know what I'm saying? It's still something to be said. So they're going back, and they're going to be like almost like a football player, big man on campus type thing. You know what I'm saying? They're going back like some jail heroes. Let's check out the video.
The Rock, better known as Alcatraz, was supposed to be the most secure prison in the world. Escape was impossible, or that's at least what the FBI thought. Three gutsy prisoners broke out in June 1962 after
1962. Okay. Now, 1962, bro.
After months of planning, and the daring escape resulted in a 17-year-long manhunt. Did Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers make it to shore, or did they end up at the bottom of the San Francisco Bay? New facial recognition software might have finally solved the baffling case. Keep watching to see what happened. Is this unsolved mystery finally solved? When Frank Morris, John Anglin, and Clarence Anglin escaped from Alcatraz, it didn't just happen on whim. This daring escape took 6 long months of planning, and by all accounts, Morris was the brains behind the operation. The group planned the escape in a makeshift workshop on top of their cells. This is where they built and hid the tools they needed to escape. Morris reportedly ranked in the top 2% of the general population in intelligence. That means he was likely smarter than most of the FBI agents who were trying to track him down. Who better to plan a risky...
That's what you do. That's what you do. It's like this whole story. First of all, you put one of the smartest, most intelligent men probably in the world in a room full of tools. Anybody else seeing this? Like, you can see this from a mile away. You put him in a room with tools. What did you think he was gonna do? You gotta laugh when you think about it though, man. And I'm pretty sure behind closed doors, nobody watching, they was laughing too, like, man, what was we thinking?
He escaped from the Rock. Wouldn't you want the guy with the 133 IQ in charge? You don't escape from the Rock if you're a dunce. The trio escaped on June 11, 1962 at about 10:30 p.m. by using sharpened spoons to tunnel through prison walls. But what if the guards were doing cell checks? They left papier-mâché dummies in their beds. How could they possibly swim to shore? That's when a raft made of 50 raincoats comes in handy. Multiple military and law enforcement agencies conducted an extensive air, sea, and land search over the next 10 days after the escape.
A raft made of raincoats, bro. Who thinks of that? Smart guy. He's a smart guy. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Y'all remember that show, Smart Guy? He's smart. Only a smart person can be like, yo, this is gonna work, and convince the other two dudes to go along with it. This is gonna work. Cause you tell me raincoats, I'll be like, all right, how we get across the water? We're gonna take these raincoats and whoa. Raincoats? We using raincoats? Raincoats. I mean, I get it. People put raincoats on to keep them out of the rain. You know what I mean? Keep them dry. But is this gonna? Trust me, it's gonna work. You the smart guy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Fam, this is just, it's comical.
The FBI searched the San Francisco Bay but found no bodies. The official stance of the FBI was that they drowned, but the case remained open until 1979. The 17-year-long case was one of the longest FBI cases in history and cost millions of dollars. The FBI became the top spender in the Department of Justice in 1962, the same year of the escape. The FBI spent $178.3 billion from 1962 to 2014, and no doubt
So what do you say when 3 prisoners escape and y'all haven't caught them? If you say we haven't found them, what happens then? It makes you look bad. Oh my gosh, we still haven't found them there on the loose. That makes the prison and the warden and the guard, everybody under that umbrella look bad, right? But if we say they drowned, we can still maintain some form of dignity by saying, okay, you escaped, but you're gonna drown in that water. So it doesn't lend credence to anybody else trying to perform the same task or trying to go behind these guys and do the same thing that they did. No, it kind of backs them up a little bit and be like, they drowned. Told y'all, it's no way out of here, man. You go out there, you're gonna die. So you might as well just sit in here, rot and die. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that was just a mind game that they try to pull over the public, man, which they often do to us. We got to start seeing it and realizing it.
Alcatraz escape was a big chunk of that. The Alcatraz escape was a huge case in FBI history, but it's certainly not the longest or most expensive. The D.B. Cooper case lasted 45 years.
D.B. Cooper!
Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers were in and out of prison for years. They all had run-ins with the law in their teens, and most prisons couldn't cage them, not even Alcatraz. Morris was in Alcatraz for bank robbery. He was serving a 10-year sentence in Louisiana State Penitentiary. Of course, the measly bars in Louisiana couldn't contain him, and he was eventually detained when he was caught. You guessed it, committing another burglary. He was sent to Alcatraz on January 20th, 1960, but of course, we know he didn't last long in there either. The Anglin brothers were drifters through and through. They would travel the country looking for work, and when they couldn't find steady jobs, they resorted to thieving. If they couldn't help on the farm, they ransacked a gas station. Clarence Anglin was first caught breaking into a service station when he was just 14 years old. The brothers spent the 50s staging numerous break-ins at gas stations and stores, but they weren't pure evil. Many of the crimes.
That's the definition of life of crime. Life of crime. They truly lived a life of crime, fam. Like from the age of like 14, 13, 12, and those ages, you're already starting down that path.
Crimes were crimes of necessity, and they reportedly never used any weapons, aside from a toy gun just once. Their robbery spree ended in 1958 when they were caught after robbing the Bank of Columbia in Alabama. The pair were both sentenced to 15 to 20 years in prison. They started their prison terms in Florida, but then moved to Atlanta Penitentiary. The pair was restless and tried to escape from Atlanta Penitentiary many times, but they didn't have the same success as Morris. Still, all those escape attempts resulted in them being shipped off to Alcatraz. Would they dare try to escape again? It costs a lot of money to keep prisoners fed, active, productive, and healthy. Those costs rise astronomically when you factor in multiple escape attempts. Alcatraz was an extremely expensive prison, and that's one of the main reasons it was eventually shut down on March 21, 1963. General rot and decay also played a factor. It cost about $10 a day to house an inmate in Alcatraz in the 1960s. That might not seem like a lot, but factor in inflation, and you're looking at about $90 today. The cost to house an inmate in most other U.S. prisons in the 1960s was only $3, or about $26 today. There is plenty of evidence to support the theory that the Anglin brothers and Morris made it out alive, but much of it is circumstantial. Family members of the Anglin brothers have claimed they were receiving photos, flowers, letters, and postcards from Brazil for years after the escape. Even though the FBI thinks that the trio downed in the San Francisco Bay, the cast and crew of Unsolved Mysteries weren't convinced. Researchers conducted experiments for an episode in 1989 to see if it was possible the escapees survived. Some tests proved successful. One test involved a triathlete attempting to swim from the rock to shore. The triathlete was successful, so some believe that Morris and the Anglin brothers could have made it too. A raft test was also completed on the show, but researchers determined making it all the way to shore in a makeshift raft was not possible. However, the Mythbusters proved otherwise in a 2002 episode. The makeshift raft, crafted and crewed by the Mythbusters team, successfully made it across the bay to the Marin Headlands. Maybe the new unsolved mystery show on Netflix needs to take a closer look at the escape. Further analysis might be needed. In 1993, former Alcatraz...
These dudes went to Brazil. Was living the good life, kicked back, sipping on some pina coladas, had a couple strippers, or how some people say, they had a couple strippers coming around, feeding them grapes, and they sending postcards and gifts home to the family, laughing at the Alcatraz warden, bro. As they tell the public, they drowned and they died. Believe none of what you see, half of what you hear. I think that's how you say it.
Alcatraz inmate Thomas Kent claimed he helped them escape, but his claim was questioned as he was paid $2,000 for an interview with America's Most Wanted. Some believe Kent was telling the truth, but others suspect he just made up the story for a quick paycheck. John Leroy Kelly claimed on his deathbed that he helped the trio escape. He said he helped them reach the Canadian border, but double-crossed them and murdered them for $40,000. The $40,000 supposedly came from family members of the Anglin brothers and Morris. A search was conducted near the border, but no remains were found. All that evidence is iffy, but we might have the best evidence yet thanks to facial recognition software. Creative agency Rothko, which is owned by Accenture Interactive, teamed up with AI specialists at Identiv to analyze a picture of two escapees in Brazil. They claim they have confirmed the identities of the pair for the first time. The picture surfaced in 2015, and it seems to show the Anglin brother hanging out on a farm in Brazil. The photo was reportedly taken in 1975. It's grainy and blurry, but the new facial recognition software shows that it is indeed Clarence and John Anglin in the photo. Rothko created a campaign titled The Law.
See, and we saw one of these videos before on this story, so we're pretty familiar with this, but now for them to confirm with the picture, the 1975 picture, that it is them, man, that makes this even more hilarious, bro. So now what do you say? What do you tell the people that you told, oh man, they died? No, they didn't. You got duped, fam. You got duped. These dudes right here, legends. They go in legend status category now. Legends.
Long shot that showcases how hidden data was unlocked using the innovative new facial matching system. The facial recognition system is based on a deep neural network machine learning algorithm. Deep face recognition analysis was applied to a high-res file of the photo, and then breakthrough technology was used to create a CGI face build from a two-dimensional image.
Wow.
Facial data points were then fed into an algorithm, and a match was found. The results showed a 99.7% match.
Wow.
Has futuristic tech solved this decades-old mystery? Are we living in the world of Minority Report now? The evidence seems fairly conclusive, and this certainly won't be the last time we hear about this facial recognition program and algorithm being used to solve baffling mysteries. Are you convinced? Facial recognition tech is not new, but...
So what do they do now? I'm sure they probably did, but just so happens that they're still alive. At this point, they've eluded you for this long. You might as well just let them be. You might as well just let them be. Let them be. You go get them up. What they say, it costs $90 to house a prisoner nowadays, is what they said. I think it was $90. One of them showed like 26 or something like that. Either way, whatever it costs, you're pretty much at their age now. If they're still alive, what are you doing? You're housing them to die? Or is it, it may be the principle for y'all, just the principle. You catch them to say you caught them finally, and they'll die in jail. Just the principle. But come on. Come on. They got you. They got you. Just say they got you. You know how you play games as a kid, and then you be running whatever it was tag or whatever game y'all was playing, and you get tired, and then you just come on out and be like, "Ah, you got me. You got me." That's what they need to do, man. They got duped. These dudes eluded them for this long. Let them go. Let them go. They wasn't murdering anybody. They was robbing. Now, if they still robbing, I get it. Catch them. But it seems to me, man, they ain't robbing no more, man. They probably old. Just telling stories.
But it has progressed leaps and bounds in recent years. Still, many are skeptical about the accuracy of facial recognition technology, not to mention the ethical implications of using facial recognition software. Many are skeptical, and there is still much research that needs to be done. Can police use this tech to track suspects? What happens if the facial recognition program makes a mistake? What if the person arrested just looks like the suspect? Mistaken identity could be a huge problem with this new tech, and even some tech CEOs are refusing to sell facial recognition software to police forces around the globe. Privacy and civil rights advocates have raised red flags too. The tech is now extremely affordable. It can cost as little as $1,000 for a high-end system, and you can buy home security cameras with facial recognition tech for as low as $60. Ryan Brackeen, the former CEO of the facial...
Wait, what? Say that again?
$1,000 for a high-end system, and you can buy home security cameras with facial recognition tech for as low as $60.
Facial recognition you can get for as low as $60 to have in your home? How do y'all feel about that, bro? Like, we have no type of privacy anymore. That's been that way for a while now, but it's just ridiculous now, bro. It's nothing. They have us. How do y'all feel about that? No privacy no more at all. If you think you got privacy, you don't. If you got Alexa in your house, you don't. I was trying to make sure. She listening anyway. But you don't have privacy at all. They're watching you. They're listening to you.
Ryan Brackeen, the former CEO of the facial recognition firm Kairos, has made a promise that his tech won't end up in the hands of law enforcement. Brackeen says that some facial recognition software has difficulty identifying people with dark skin. That's a huge problem, especially in today's climate of civil unrest throughout the United States. Facial recognition software has many other uses. It's not just a possible tool for law enforcement. We even use facial recognition in our daily lives. You probably recently used this tech and didn't even realize it. The tech is used to tag people on Facebook and unlock your iPhone. See, you probably used facial recognition just before you started this video. What's even scarier is the fact that the government already has your face on file. You have a passport or driver's license, right? The FBI still maintains that the trip drowned while escaping and has even considered reopening the case in recent years. In 2018, a note from John Anglin was reportedly discovered. It read, "My name is John Anglin. I escaped from Alcatraz in June 1962 with my brother Clarence and Frank Morris. I'm 83 years old and in bad shape. I have cancer. Yes, we all made it that night, but barely." U.S. Marshals still receive leads relating to...
Oh, man. I kind of want them to go find him now so he could just, give us the play-by-play of everything that happened from the escape all the way through, what he's been doing. That would have been the biggest Barbara Walters, Oprah Winfrey interview we've ever seen, bro. I would have been glued. What? I'd have been glued to the TV set, fam. That's when you call in to work for.
The case, and marshals even went to Brazil in the early 2000s to check out claims the Anglin brothers were there. The FBI may have put the case to rest, but U.S. Marshals will keep the investigation open until May 11, 2031, which is Charles Anglin's 100th birthday. That's it for now, folks. Do you think the mystery of the Anglin brothers' escape from Alcatraz is finally solved, or is the mystery still up for debate? Did they make it to Brazil?
Yes.
Or did they end up at the bottom of the bay?
No.
What are your thoughts on facial recognition software? Did this tech help solve the puzzle, or does it do more harm than good? Let us know in the comments below. And if you...
Does it do more harm than good? Is it safe? Who cares? They got you. They got you. Like they said, some people use facial recognition on your phone, your passport, different things, man. Tagging yourself on social media. It's all there. They got you. Did the Anglin brothers escape? Absolutely. I believe wholeheartedly they did. Did they make it to Brazil? Absolutely. Were they sending those notes? I guarantee they probably were. If I had to bet my last on it, I would say they survived. That's just me, though. That's just me, though. Y'all get at me in the comment section, man. Let me know what y'all think. Leave a like, share the video, subscribe, and stick around and stay tuned, man, until the next reaction of my piece. Y'all stay solid. Hey.